So here is the first squash vine borer caterpillar I have run into this year. I was inspecting my plants, getting ready to mulch a little more around them, and he came right out. You can see him moving around in there a little bit. So I have a new product this year. I'm going to test it on it to see how well it works. And this compare and save stuff, which was a pretty good deal this year, and see how it does on these, because if it doesn't kill them, I want my money back. I'm going to place them into this jar here. I have a stalk in there that has eggs on it. I want to see if those will hatch when I spray this stuff too, or if this stuff is good against the eggs. I don't know. So there is our little vine borer caterpillar there. We're going to put him in the jar there with those eggs and see how well he does, or see how well this product works against him, I should say. So I'm going to spray it and I'll come out later. Maybe it takes a day or so like BT does. We'll see. So there it is, a little vine borer is in there. You can see him moving around still. Gave him a little spray of that stuff. Didn't spray too much because I don't want it to die of drowning, because this stuff is liquid. So we'll come back in a few hours and see how our caterpillar is doing here. Our caterpillar that loves to eat our pumpkins and squashes. So yeah, just a couple of little rusty spots on the vine like that. That's all it was. And suddenly there was a squash vine borer in there. Well, it ended up being multiple ones because I dust over the base of the plant. This is where the plant is the most vulnerable. So what the moth does then is it tries to lay eggs up on top here, because it can't lay them back there because the dust is too much for them. So you got to check the vines here, and when I went up here, that's when I discovered that one in there eating, which ended up being multiple ones. So it's something you got to keep on. There's another rusty spot there. I got to check that one out, you know. But yeah, that's all it was, just two little spots there that caught my eye on this whole giant plant here. just two little spots there. That could be the beginning or end of your pumpkin. That's why you got to spray pretty good. You got to treat your vines depending on where you live. Some of you may not ever have to do this, but definitely have to do it where I live. That's the way it is. So there is our vine borer caterpillar. He was moving around a little bit. He doesn't seem to be moving around as much. Whoops, sorry. He's moving around a little bit still. But he's not on the vine anymore, and he's not eating. So clearly this is not a contact killer. So obviously it's something they have to eat, but I'm fairly confident he must have eaten some, or at least gotten a little bit in his mouth while he was in here with us. So I'll come back a little later and check on him again, see how he's doing. Hope he doesn't climb out of here. I got a jar with a lid on it, but it's probably got holes that are kind of big enough for him to get through, but we'll see. Here we are about 2 hours later, and as you can see, our squash vine borer is still moving around and eating quite a bit. I'm going to give this Bifenthrin stuff about another day. That's what that compare and save stuff is. I give it about another day or so, and if it's not working, I'm going to switch back to BT or Spinosad, because I know those work. But so far disappointing, but we'll see what happens, because there's still, you know, if it kills them within a day or so, it's not bad. But if it's not going to work, you know, at all, that's terrible. If it's going to take a week to work, well, they can be double their size in a week and wreck your plants. So, but we're just still waiting on it. We'll see what happens. So here we are. It is about 2 days after the application of the compare and save Bifenthrin, and it looks like our vine borer is no longer with us. He's not moving anymore. I moved the jar around a little bit to see if I could get him to move. But he's not moving anymore, so we're going to say that compare and save Bifenthrin worked pretty good. I wasn't that faithful about it at first, I admit, but it's actually worked pretty good. And it takes about the same amount of time as BT does. So what's the difference? Well, BT just targets caterpillars, pretty much. It's not going to hurt bees and stuff. Bifenthrin can hurt bees if you get it on the flowers and stuff, so you don't spray the flowers. You always spray it at night when there's no pests around. But yep, looks like it worked pretty well on the squash vine borer caterpillar, which is the bane of all squash, pumpkin, zucchini, melon growers everywhere. Cucurbits. Also, I have the stem in here that has eggs on it, but as you can see, they haven't hatched yet, and it's been about a week. So that would really be something if this Bifenthrin was also really good at stopping the eggs from hatching. But even if they do hatch, I'm pretty confident that it would kill the caterpillars pretty much right away, or as quick as this one was killed, because they start eating as soon as they hatch, or they make their way to where they want to go, then they start eating. So if the chemical is there waiting for them, then, you know, they start eating as soon as they hatch, and then they die soon afterwards. So definitely could recommend that Compare and Save Bifenthrin. It's pretty good.